America is often considered the birthplace of democracy, but did you know that democracy was practiced in North America long before the founding of the United States? In the late 1600s, before the founding of the United States, the 5 nations of the Iroquois Confederacy established a system of government that would later serve as a model for the framers of the U.S. Constitution. However, the Great Law of Peace, the foundational document of the Confederacy, didn't just influence the U.S. Constitution. It also laid the groundwork for a completely new way of thinking about government. In today's episode of Native Journals, we will explore the Iroquois Confederacy, discussing its formation and structure, its democratic principles, and its influence and legacy on American democracy. So, buckle up for a journey back in time as we uncover the secrets of America's first democracy and how it shaped our lives today. Before we continue, please support us by giving this video a thumbs up, hitting the subscribe button, and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss out on our new updates. Historical background. The story begins in parts of what is now called New York City in the United States. The Iroquois Confederacy, also known as the Haudenosaunee, was born from the shared dreams and hopes of a group of tribes. These tribes faced challenges like friendly neighbors do, yet they chose a different path, the path of unity. The need for cooperation and protection led them to form a special bond, creating a confederation that would be remembered for centuries. Now, let's meet the stars of our story, the 5-member nations of the Iroquois Confederacy. Mohawk was a tribe as strong as the mighty oak tree. The Mohawk, situated in the eastern part, were known for their courage and skills as warriors. They were the guardians of the Confederacy, protecting it like a big brother protects his siblings. Oneida was a tribe with a heart as warm as the summer sun. To the west, the Oneida were known for their kindness and hospitality. They welcomed others with open arms, fostering a spirit of togetherness. Onondaga was a tribe with wisdom as deep as the ancient forests. The Onondaga, at the center, played a crucial role. They were the spiritual keepers, holding council meetings beneath the shade of the great tree, where important decisions were made. Cayuga was a tribe connected to the land as strong as the flowing rivers. The Cayuga, situated to the west, were known for their agricultural skills. They cultivated the earth, ensuring there was plenty for everyone. Seneca was a tribe with a spirit as free as the winds swept across the plains. The Seneca, in the western part, were both skilled hunters and farmers. They lived in harmony with nature, respecting its rhythm. Together, these 5 nations formed a family bound by shared values and a commitment to work together for the greater good. Now, let's step into the landscape where the Iroquois Confederacy was situated, where nature was not just a backdrop, but a vital part of daily life. The region stretched from the Great Lakes to the Hudson River, a vast expanse of lush forests, rolling hills, and clear waters. This was the homeland of the Iroquois, a place rich in resources and teeming with diverse wildlife. The seasons painted the land with a changing palette. Spring brought blossoms, summer bathed the world in warmth, autumn adorned the trees in vibrant colors, and winter blanketed everything in a serene hush. In this natural haven, the Iroquois lived in harmony with the environment. They were skilled hunters, gatherers, and farmers, relying on the earth's gifts to sustain their communities. The rivers were like veins of life, connecting the tribes and facilitating trade and communication. Beyond the physical landscape were stories, rituals, and a deep connection to the spirit world. The Iroquois believed in the Great Spirit, a guiding force that watched over them and provided wisdom. Their traditions, passed down through generations, were like threads linking the past, present, and future. The emergence of the Iroquois Confederacy wasn't just a historical event. It was a natural response to the challenges and opportunities of their world. By uniting in this confederation, the tribes created a resilient and adaptable way of life that left a lasting mark on the pages of history. Formation of the Confederacy. The tribes realized that coming together would strengthen them and help them face the tough times. So, they decided to form something special called the Iroquois Confederacy. The circumstances that led to this decision were like puzzle pieces coming together. There were conflicts between the tribes, and they needed a way to solve problems and avoid fighting. By joining hands, they believed they could create a bond that would bring peace and understanding. In this tale of togetherness, a legendary figure named Hiawatha stepped onto the stage. Hiawatha wasn't just a regular person. He was like a wise elder with a heart full of kindness. Hiawatha had faced great personal sorrow, losing his family to a terrible storm. But instead of letting sadness take over, he chose a path of healing and peace. Hiawatha played a key role in uniting the tribes. Picture him as a storyteller, traveling from one village to another, spreading words of unity like seeds in the wind. With a gentle voice and words that carried the spirit of harmony, he convinced the tribes to join hands and hearts. Hiawatha spoke about the strength that comes from standing together, just like the trees in the forest. Hiawatha's message wasn't about power for one tribe. It was about the power of all tribes working as one. Together, they could create a force as mighty as the rushing river, unbreakable and full of life. Hiawatha was like the glue that held the Confederation together. His wisdom and kindness helped the tribes see the beauty in each other's differences. With his guidance, they formed a friendship circle, and the Iroquois Confederacy was born. Now that the tribes have been united, let's dive into the heart of the Iroquois Confederacy, its principles and values. The Confederacy had a special symbol called the Circle of Peace. Imagine it like a big round table where everyone had a seat. This circle represents equality, meaning that each tribe, big or small, had an equal say in decisions. It was a place where everyone's voice mattered. The Iroquois people were organized into clans, like extended families. Each clan had its responsibilities and shared a connection with the natural world, like animals and plants. This system taught them the importance of working together harmoniously, just like different parts of a big family. The Iroquois Confederacy had a special way of making decisions. They believed in unity and harmony. So instead of one leader making all the choices, decisions were reached through discussion and agreement. It was like a big family meeting where everyone shared their thoughts and worked together to find the best path forward. The Iroquois saw nature as a teacher and guide. They learned from the animals, the wind, and the trees. This respect for nature helped them understand that everything is connected, just like the roots of a tree holding the earth together. It wasn't just about living for today. It was about creating a world that would be good for many tomorrows. The Iroquois Confederacy valued thinking about the future. They said that decisions should consider the impact on the next 7 generations. This taught them to be responsible stewards of the land and resources, thinking not just about today, but also about the well-being of their children and grandchildren. In the heart of the Iroquois Confederacy, these principles and values became the guiding stars, helping them walk the path of friendship and cooperation. It wasn't just about making decisions. It was about making decisions that brought happiness and harmony to everyone. Political structure, the Grand Council and clan system. Let's journey into the heart of the Iroquois Confederacy, where friends from different tribes came together like a big family. Imagine it as a special club, where everyone had a role and a say in the club's decisions. At the very top of this friendship club was something called the Grand Council. It's like a big meeting where leaders from each tribe gather to discuss important things. Picture it as a round table, where everyone's voice mattered equally. Each tribe, like the Mohawk or the Seneca, sent leaders to this council, and the people in their tribe chose them. It was like picking the team captain who listens to everyone and helps make good choices. Now, the Grand Council wasn't about one person telling others what to do. No, it was a team effort where each tribe had a voice. They shared their ideas, like friends sharing snacks, and together they made good decisions for everyone. Just imagine it's like planning a big picnic, and everyone can choose what food to bring. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Inside each tribe, there were special groups called clans. Think of a clan as a big family within a big family. Each clan had jobs and responsibilities, and they looked out for each other like brothers and sisters. In the clan, you had uncles, aunts, and cousins working together. It was a bit like a beehive, where everyone had a role to play. Some clans were like bird watchers, taking care of birds and animals. Others were like the gardeners, looking after plants and trees. This way, everyone had a special job, just like how your friend might be great at drawing, and another friend might be awesome at telling jokes. So, the Iroquois Confederacy wasn't just about leaders making decisions. It was like a big puzzle where each piece, the tribes and the clan, fit together to create a picture of harmony and teamwork. Now, let's talk about how the Iroquois Confederacy made decisions, talking and listening. Imagine you and your friends planning a sleepover. Everyone gathers in a circle and talks about what games to play, what snacks to have, and where to set up the sleeping bags. That's a bit like how the Grand Council worked. They sat in a circle, talking and listening to each other. When it was time to decide, they didn't rush like a squirrel in a hurry. They took their time, just like friends, deciding what movie to watch. Each leader spoke about their thoughts, and everyone paid attention, nodding and thinking together. It was like a big conversation where everyone's ideas mattered. Consensus building. Here's a special word they used. Consensus. It's like saying, we all agree on this idea. Instead of one person saying, my idea is the best. They wanted everyone to feel happy about the decision. It was a bit like picking a game that everyone enjoyed at the sleepover. So, they talked and talked until everyone felt good about the decision. If someone didn't like the idea, they didn't ignore them like a closed door. No way. They listened, and together they found a solution that made everyone happy. It's like when you and your friends decide on a game everyone loves, so no one feels left out. Now, let's dive deeper into the magic of consensus and unanimity. These are big words, but we will discuss them in simple terms, making them as simple as picking your favorite ice cream flavor. Imagine your friends deciding on a pizza topping. Some like pepperoni, others like veggies. Consensus is when everyone agrees on a topping that makes everyone happy. It's like saying, okay, let's go with half pepperoni and half veggies, so everyone smiles. The Iroquois leaders used consensus to find solutions that everyone could cheer about. If there was a big decision, like where to go for a special gathering, they wanted to ensure everyone was on board. It's like asking your friends, what place would excite everyone? In the Iroquois Confederacy, they wanted everyone to feel really good about their choices. It wasn't about some people saying, I like this, and others saying, I don't like that. No. It was about finding ideas that made everyone say, yes, this feels right for us. So when they reached unanimity, it was like a victory dance. They found an idea that everyone loved, and that's what made their decisions strong and lasting. Now that we've stepped into the heart of the Iroquois Confederacy, Let us take a closer look at how their way of making decisions was like a dance of democracy where everyone had a part. The Iroquois didn't have one big chief making all the choices. Instead, they created a special group called the Grand Council. Picture it like a gathering of wise friends, each representing one of the 5 tribes: Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca. This Grand Council was where the magic of democracy happened. Decision-making in the Grand Council? The Grand Council wasn't about shouting the loudest or being the strongest. It was about talking and listening, like friends sitting around a fire, sharing stories. Every tribe had a voice, and decisions were made together. This way of deciding things was called consensus, where everyone had to agree before moving forward. Balance of power. The Iroquois believed in something very special: balance. They understood that when power is balanced, like a seesaw in a playground, everyone stays friends. No one tribe was more important than the others, and decisions were like stones thrown into a calm lake, creating ripples that touched everyone. Now, let's explore how power wasn't just a big cake that only one tribe got to eat. It was more like a garden where everyone could pick fruits and flowers. Each tribe had its responsibility to make sure that the garden of the Iroquois Confederacy bloomed with goodness. Within each tribe, there were smaller groups called clans. These clans were like big families with their jobs. Some clans were the keepers of the fire, some were the protectors of the animals, and others were like storytellers, keeping history alive. The tribes didn't just sit around. They each had a job to do. One tribe might be responsible for keeping the peace, like a peacemaker in the group. Another tribe might be the ceremony's keepers, ensuring everyone stayed connected to their traditions. In this dance of democracy, it's crucial to spotlight the remarkable women of the Iroquois Confederacy. They weren't just observers. They were the heartbeat, the strength, and the wisdom that flowed through every decision. They were a group of wise women who knew the stories of the land and the secrets of the stars. These were the clan mothers, the respected leaders of the clans. They chose the leaders for the Grand Council, ensuring that the people who spoke for the tribes were wise and caring. It's a bit like choosing team captains for a game. The clan mothers ensured the leaders were fair and listened to everyone. In the Iroquois Confederacy, women had a strong voice. They weren't left out of important decisions. They were right in the middle of it all. The clan mothers could even remove a leader from the Grand Council if they felt that the leader wasn't doing a good job. Legacy and influence on American democracy. Our story continues as we explore the meetings between the Iroquois Confederacy and the early European settlers. A time of sharing, learning, and sometimes challenging moments. When the first European settlers arrived on the shores of what would become the United States, they encountered the Iroquois Confederacy, a group of Native American tribes with a rich history of democracy. These interactions weren't always smooth, but they became a crucial chapter in how different cultures came together. The Iroquois were skilled in hunting and trading furs, bringing them in contact with the European settlers, who were eager to trade for these valuable resources. This exchange of goods wasn't just about things. It was also about ideas. The Europeans observed the way the Iroquois made decisions and lived together. Little did they know these observations would plant seeds of inspiration that would shape the future. The Iroquois Confederacy wasn't just a group, it was like a nation of nations. The early European settlers recognized the strength of this united front and engaged in diplomatic discussions. Treaties were formed, alliances were created, and the exchange of ideas became a bridge between two worlds. As time unfolded, the seeds of democracy planted by the Iroquois Confederacy began to sprout in the minds of the European settlers, influencing the very fabric of the democracy that would eventually emerge in the United States. The Iroquois had a guiding document called the Great Law of Peace. a set of principles that formed the basis of their democracy. This document emphasized the importance of unity, consensus, and respect for nature. The Europeans, exposed to these ideas, saw an alternative model of governance, one rooted in fairness and inclusivity. Fast forward to the days when the Founding Fathers were shaping the future of a new nation. As they discussed the blueprint for the United States, the lessons from the Iroquois Confederacy echoed in their minds. Evidence suggests that figures like Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson were aware of the Iroquois governance system. The idea of a confederation, where different states come together for a common purpose, was borrowed from the Iroquois model and incorporated into the structure of the United States. The influence of the Iroquois Confederacy didn't fade away with the signing of treaties or the formation of the United States. Instead, it became a part of the foundation upon which American governance was built. When the United States Constitution was drafted, some elements seemed familiar. The balance of power, the representation of different states, and the emphasis on a federal structure echo the Iroquois principles. It's like creating a new game, but using some rules that worked well in a favorite game you played before. Federalism, the idea of power being shared between a central government and individual states, resembled the balance of power within the Iroquois Confederacy. The concept of each state maintaining its authority, while contributing to a stronger whole, reflected the Iroquois model of unity. The legacy of the Iroquois Confederacy isn't just a distant memory. It's a living influence that continues to shape discussions about democracy in the present day. As conversations about the environment and sustainability grow louder, the Iroquois Confederacy's respect for nature becomes a guiding light. Their understanding that decisions today impact the well-being of future generations resonates in modern discussions about environmental responsibility. In discussions about making democracy better, the Iroquois Confederacy serves as a reminder that inclusivity matters. Their system of consensus building and representation encourages contemporary thinkers to explore ways of ensuring that every voice is heard. In conclusion, the Iroquois Confederacy was a unique experiment in self-governance that demonstrated the possibility of a functional, democratic society without a centralized government. The Confederacy achieved this by emphasizing the values of cooperation, consensus, and respect for the rights of individuals. The influence of the Confederacy can still be seen today in the democratic systems of government worldwide. It is important to recognize and learn from the successes of the Confederacy, even as we strive to improve upon them in our democratic societies. The legacy of the Iroquois Confederacy is one of peace, self-determination, and equality. By studying and learning from the experiences of the Confederacy, we can better understand how to create and maintain a peaceful, democratic society that values the rights of all individuals. The Iroquois Confederacy serves as a valuable reminder that the foundations of democracy are not set in stone, but can be constantly improved upon and refined through cooperation and compromise. And with that, we wrap up today's edition of the Native Journal. Thank you for joining us on this historical exploration. If you enjoyed this journey through time, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to share this video and hit the subscribe button. See you in our next video.